Hello everybody, this is TychoCelchuuu and you are watching a Company of Heroes 2 shoutcast between the girl who is FaHu, however you want to say it, playing as Ostea, and HQmul CondemnationWings, playing as the Soviets. So these players are both really good. FaHu, the German player, is the 67th best German 1v1 player in the world right now, according to the ladder. Not as highly ranked as Soviets. I think FaHu mostly plays Germans. HQmul, meanwhile, is the 26th best Soviet. Whoop, that was weird. 26th best Soviet player in the entire world in 1v1, according to the ladder, and also 26th. No, did I say 26? Yeah, 26th best Soviets and 21st best Germans. So HQmul is really good with both these sides, and we are on Pripyat Winter. Even though this is a new patch where Relic has given us the ability to untick maps in auto match, which is really nice. So it doesn't guarantee you won't get that map, but it does reduce the chance. So I guess neither of these people unticked Pripyat Winter, or only one of them did, or two of them did, and it's buggy, but that's all right. We have more stuff in a new patch, which I'll talk about as this game goes on. Do we have any weird starting stuff from the Soviets? Nope, just your garden variety conscript spam. Looks like they're focusing pretty heavily on the south so far. Might expect this conscript squad to go through the middle, or even across the top, since this thing is frozen over, and they might just want to make a beeline for the fuel. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, Auster is spreading out moderately, just with a couple Grenadier squads, and then we'll have to see if we get an MG after that, or third Gren. What are we gonna get? Or a sniper even. Nope, it's a third Gren, just floating a little manpower. So, like I said, new patch. The game is getting better. I'm not sure I'd say it's good yet, but certainly Relic is making some changes. T-34 got better, the RAM got worse, but the gun got better, and the tank is now cheaper fuel-wise. I think it's down to 85 now. They reduced the damage of AT grenades versus enemy tanks. Well, what they reduced was the penetration chance. So now you have less of a chance of taking out the engine with an AT grenade or a Panzerfaust against a heavy tank. Panzerfaust actually still does pretty good, especially versus Russian tanks. So Germans really came out ahead in that one. Here's a change that wasn't even in the change log. They changed Minsk Pocket to not be such of a shitty map, but that we're not playing that, so we'll see that later. Conscript spam, 1, 2, 3. So, yep, nothing surprising there. The question is, what does he do after the conscripts? He hasn't retreated as engineer yet, so it's not like he can tech up to anything. German, meanwhile, is up to the 3 Grenadiers and still hasn't spent the manpower in something else. So maybe, again, we'll see a sniper. I say again because I guessed sniper previously, but it's possible the German player is just too busy to spend your stuff. Oh, here's a thing. You can... Let's do this right now. Options, gameplay, show XP, classic XP kickers. Oh yeah, now they'll show up over the dead people. That's a really good change, I think, for Relic, because boom, now it's easier to see when people are dying, and it's like Company Heroes. So that's good. Everything like Company Heroes is good. Everything like Company Heroes 2 is bad. You can always just click on the unit to see who got the veterancy, because you can see the veterancy bar, but what you want is to see who is dying, especially the snipers or something. So the German did eventually decide to tech up, spent it on the escalate to battle phase 1, and then queuing up a Pioneer squad, which is annoying. You don't want to ever have anything queued up in a game like Company Heroes 2. I mean, even in a game like StarCraft, where you're producing like 20 units at a time, you don't want anything queued up. You want to have enough production buildings to spread it out. But Company Heroes, when you're building like one thing at a time, you really don't want to have the resources queued up. So it's unfortunate that he thought it necessary to build a second Pioneer squad late enough that he couldn't queue it up before the escalate to battle phase 1. That's not just how it works. That was whoa, that was a couple of grenades, rifle grenades, 2 going in, one of them taking out the fire, but not much else. Meanwhile, the engineers just hop out and then back in. They're going to be able to flame these people to death because they're all sort of hanging. Wow, they all died. That building, I guess, does not give you tremendous cover, or maybe the watchtower does, but he just got tremendously unlucky because you saw those 2 engineers just like die and fall from this tower. That guy's on fire. That was a friendly guy on fire. Jesus Christ. That was just a weird fucking fight. First, we saw the 2 engineers get killed, like, almost immediately in this tower, just from small arms fire from the Grenadiers, which is bizarre. So maybe this is just a shitty house. Then, we saw a conscript totally get lit on fire. Like, definitely burned to death. So that was friendly fire, which I didn't even know could happen from a flamethrower. That was a conscript, right? I was not hallucinating? And then it died again, and the Grenadiers stole the flamethrower. So that's crazy. We see a fairly even split on the map. Germans doing a good job harassing the fuel on the south, but aside from that, map control is looking pretty good. Really, though, the Soviet player needs to worry because he's down a squad now. Losing that engineer, no good at all. Does have another engineer squad with another flamethrower, but now the Germans have a flamethrower on a fairly resilient unit, which is these Vet 1 Grenadiers. That's going to be pretty annoying. They say frozen Grenadiers here, but they have a flamethrower, so they shouldn't say that anymore, because you don't have to be frozen. Why would you ever freeze to death if you have a flamethrower on your back? I guess the answer there is that you don't want to waste your flamethrower fuel setting other stuff on fire, and it's not like the flamethrower itself is warm. I love a little flame coming out of the tip of the flamethrower. That doesn't make sense, I think, but it's cool. And yeah, Soviet player doing some good capping. So what else changed in the patch? T-34. Guards rifle can now buy DP-28s if you lose them because they drop them on the ground when they get killed. Oh, the scout car, the German scout car, when you upgrade it with the gun on top, it doesn't lose the machine gun on the bottom, so it's much better at fighting. Instead, the German player went straight to a half-track, so the normal, what you would be expecting from Soviets is eventually some clown cars or something, but it looks like we're going to have a 4 conscript strat. No, it's still just a 3 conscript strat from HQmul, but 3 conscripts and 2 engineers into Tier 2 to get what from Tier 2 is the question. We don't know, but yeah, so the German, I guess, correctly read what his opponent was doing and did not bother stopping off on a scout car, which you honestly don't need unless your opponent's going a clown car, or maybe snipers, but even snipers, you can hunt them down with a normal half-track or just infantry. And Soviet player is dumping the manpower into the guard's rifle, so at this point, Tier 2 not doing anything for him yet. The guard's rifle will be good against this Flammenwerfer. He does need, obviously, something to counter this Flammenwerfer out, and that was a good choice, I think, buying the Flammenwerfer on the Germans' part, because that's really going to force the Soviets to buy stuff just to counter that Flammenwerfer instead of taking up to whatever it is they want, or dumping their manpower into whatever it is they want. Good capping back from the Germans. Nice fight here is, oh man, almost getting a kill on the engineers, but didn't. So that's great. Great. So yeah, German now needs to make the half-track shine. This is his chance to come back from losing that, no, he didn't lose. He killed the engineer squad. What am I talking about? This is the Soviet player's chance to kill this thing and come back from losing the engineer. Instead, he's just getting, like, toasted to hell. Does he have AT grenades are upgraded, so that means, oh man, they even got the DPs. So that means this will have to stay away from the conscript if it wants to not get destroyed by the guard's rifle, and it can in fact be buttoned. Oh, it can't upgrade it because they already got it, and it can be buttoned also, which is not good. So here's the Panzergren. So yeah, pretty standard play from the German here, just going a fairly infantry heavy strat and really exploiting the lack of clown cars on the Soviet side to just pour as much as he wants into anti-infantry stuff. Here's another change they made. Infantry pop caps lower, vehicle pop caps higher. So in the late game, it should be more viable to go a more infantry heavy strat, presumably because you won't be getting as much upkeep because your upkeep is based on your pop cap. And also because you can field more stuff. The Elephant is now 25 pop cap, by the way. And if you haven't seen the Elephant lately, go watch my previous shoutcast. That thing is off the hook! But yeah, so Soviet player is dumping a lot into infantry, and is going to be dumping a lot into infantry for quite a while. We have a Molotov coming up, and obviously no vehicles are going to be coming out of Tier 2. So until we see either a back tech to Tier 1, which at this point I think would be foolish, although the German player doesn't have any sort of man, this building looks really similar to this building. It's like the same thing. The roof is like different, but jeez, this game is confusing looking. And the fucking blizzard isn't helping. And look, there's a Lichte Mechanized company that I didn't notice. Well, I noticed because he built the half-track and the Panzergrens. But okay, here's these Panzergrens. And oh, nice grenade! I was about to say deep trouble, but that was like 3 kills right there. Thank you, XP tickers. But yeah, that was gross. Soviet player, I guess, didn't react in time or didn't want to run forward anymore because that would just, number one, the grenade was at the real edge. This was really nice grenade placement, by the way. Man, burning to death. That's Weird. That was really nice grenade placement, by the way. It was right sort of in front of the squads. So, like, the squads were here, and the grenade was at the front edge of them, still catching a lot of them, but not, like, right in the middle of them. And the reason you want it here in the front is because if they... Well... Okay. No, I guess right behind would be the best if he were close enough, but he wasn't close enough. So, right in the front, they can't... if they move... No, I take it back. That was bad grenade placement. Throw it behind them, so they have to run towards you to dodge it, if you're Panzer Grenadiers. You want to be moving. Well, obviously it was tough to throw it behind him, because he would have to move forward to do it, but there you go. Molotov! Whee! Forcing the reposition. Doesn't even get a crit hit on... oh, yes it does. He's on fire. So that's what you're... Wait. That was the fucking... How many people have died to friendly fire burning in this match so far? I think it's at least 3... I feel like down here it's sort of, I don't know, but weird stuff. So what you want is a crit, of course, from the Molotov. When it goes in and it explodes, you want it to kill somebody, and that's just luck. Or if your opponent's too bad to dodge it, then you can just hope for the damage over time to do it. But if it's not the damage over time, then what you're looking for is a lucky crit, because then you at least get a kill, in addition to forcing the reposition. Guard's rifle, do they see the half-track? No, they don't see the half-track, and that was a nice rifle grenade, taking out 3 of them. Very good. Very good. I would think about now moving in forward with this flamethrower, seeing as these guys, 2 of them have AT rifles, they're not going to be putting damage on you. So that's the time, I think, to move in and try and put that flamethrower to good use. But I suppose you want to stay here, correctly anticipating the flank from these conscripts coming up, or maybe just not paying enough attention. In any case, that worked out well. These grenadiers were a bulwark against these conscripts. They couldn't move in and try an AT grenade this thing. This would be bad if these guys die on the retreat. This is looking really bad for the Soviets at this point. They died on the retreat. I don't know what the Soviets are going to do to come back from this. He's got an AT gun on the field, so that can get a lucky hit or 2 in on this thing and it'll explode. But at this point, we see the German taking up to tier 3, building a Panzer IV, being smart about it. You could even... Why is Alt-E... Look, I'm hovering over the Panzer IV, but I can't show you with the mouse. It's over here. Alt-E. Is that the hotkey for building a... That can't be the hotkey for building a Panzer IV, right? What? W... W... Q... Q... W... What the fuck? Oh. Alt... I don't know. Clearly, I don't play this game at all, and I don't know what's going on. To be honest, the real-time strategy game I've been playing lately is StarCraft 2. I'm practicing for a match against somebody, and I haven't played StarCraft 2 in years, so I've just, I've been hitting my Zerg injects, is what I'm going for. So, yeah, this is a nice back and forth right now, and good play from the German player. I want to see, this teching on the Soviet player is bizarre. I don't quite see what HQmul is going for with this strap. Maybe used to playing against players who aren't quite as good and sort of getting away without having to go clown car or sniper or pretty much anything, not even 4 conscripts. Let's swap over to HQmul. Now we're not even up to 4 conscripts. So HQmul is just probably used to being able to use infantry to do everything, and it just hasn't quite been working after losing that really early squad. So now the Panzer IV is out, and barring some ice shenanigans or good button AT gun usage, I would... well, that was a... I don't... Why would you throw a grenade? What was that? I don't even know. Meanwhile, this is killing everybody. But the AT gun... Yeah, this is just gonna get AT grenaded to death, I think. Dude, these guys are not even on cooldown. Man, he was saving the AT grenade. Yeah, then he kills it. Just shoots it to death. Didn't even AT grenade. So, yeah, that was sort of a suicide thing. Whoa, this could be bad. That actually didn't break the ice. So there's a tip for you. Grenade, not going to break the ice. The ice has got to be weakened first. If vehicles drive over the ice, like we look where the half-track... Well, we'll look later. There's a fight going on. If vehicles drive over the ice, that'll weaken the ice, and then you can later kill it with something. But just shooting on your own with brand new shot might not do it. Half health off this Panzer IV with 1 shot from the AT gun. And now the second shot's probably not going to fire because this weird thing fucks with the true sight like tremendously. And this middle section of Pripyat is just a clusterfuck when it comes to sighting issues and firing line. It's just nobody knows who can hit, and it fires again. This needs 1 more shot to get itself destroyed. He doesn't have sight, I don't think. Still has sight. I don't know, is it going to shoot? There's a weird tree in the way. Is it out of range? Is it in range? I don't know. These things have massive range in Company Heroes 2, but it might have just been blocked by the tree. It might have actually been out of range because that actually was pretty far. It's tough to know. Company Heroes 2 does not give you the tools to figure it out. You're just going to have to intuit it. Use your intuition. And HQmul now has a chance to come back in this game, seeing as the Panzer IV is out of commission. That was a funny Molotov. Nice crit goes in, and whoop. Nope, doesn't catch another guy. And these guys are just on the edge. They're just chilling out. They're hidden by the smoke because I can't see a goddamn thing. Where's the fourth member? Oh, there's two stacked on top of each other. Another guard's rifle called in, so this is 3 guards rifle and 3 conscripts. I'm surprised the German hasn't tried to adapt this infantry heavy play by maybe getting an Ostwind or something. We've got the resources in the bank. We've had them for quite a while. 115 fuel needed for the Ostwind and 180 fuel in the bank right now, and meanwhile floating 600 manpower. So German player at this point is saying, man, Soviet player's got to be saving up for something. I got to be ready for it when it comes. I'm going to save my resources or something. Or German player just isn't spending what he ought to be spending. I just cracked my knuckle if you can hear that. Maybe my microphone picked it up. Oh, I should angle my microphone slightly different. There. Did my voice change? I don't know. I just, a lot of floating on the German side, and I think that's either just bad play or a miscalculation about what the Soviets got in the bank. Soviet doesn't have anything. It's got a lot of fuel, but we're not going to see the Soviet bust out with anything for a while, and he's just been bleeding too much manpower, keeping these infantry all on the field and keeping the upkeep going and stuff like that. Probably going to see a grenade from these guys, is what they're sitting around for. Actually, they can probably fight this out. They're not in red cover yet. Here's a grenade. That's the end of that squad. That was a double vet squad, completely wiped out from the grenade. So that's the sort of win the Soviet player needs. If you can completely decimate the German infantry game with your Soviet infantry, then you have a much better hold on the map. You have a much better job buttoning those enemy vehicles, catching them with your AT guns or your AT nades, and wearing them down with your guards rifle. But as long as the Germans are able to keep their grenadiers on the field and start earning some veterancy, and keep their panzer grenadiers on the field and start getting some kills, here's some nice burn damage from the Molotov. As long as they're able to do that, the Germans aren't going to have much trouble, because grenadiers scale pretty well between the LMGs and the veterancy, and just being good. There's a grenade running away, and panzer grenadiers, their scaling isn't like good or bad, but they're just really good. So and they can go around capping stuff. So at this point, I think if the Soviet player really wins some infantry engagements, things will be looking better. And look, we got the repair station used. So that's cool. These guys had a thing they did. So both players big fans of infantry. German a little less so. Obviously, he's got the Panzer IV. What is he? Oh, look, he dumped the fuel into another Panzer IV. Okay, so you don't have to buy an Ostwind. That was just my suggestion. What did he just buy? A command tank. Well, so this is the 3rd Panzer IV now. With 4, we'll have 4 Panzer IVs, and once you get that, you immediately win, just because the number 4 is really important in this game. So now the German players got the tanks, and actually the command tank's an interesting choice. Maybe buy that instead of an Ostwind. They're both sort of anti-infantry things, but the advantage of this is that it makes your units in the same sector defensier, harder to kill. But yeah, so finally the German dumping fuel. Wow, that grenade didn't do anything. That's a place to build a fire on the ice. Hilarious. But it doesn't melt a hole, obviously. That's not how this game works. Here comes the German. He's, that's just the thing over the command tank that shows the thing. Here comes the German moving in. Can he see anything? No. I mean, now he knows where all the infantry are because they're shooting at him, but it's a blizzard. He can't see a goddamn thing. I don't know what the command tank is doing. It's just driving off on its own, scouting some stuff. It's trying to flank the AT gun, I guess, and he does not yet see the AT gun. He has no idea where it is. He gets AT naded, and now he's stuck in front of the AT gun, takes 1 hit from it. He's pretty low. He's going to flank it with his other tank, and is probably going to be able to drive around it too. Is he going to get another hit in? Nope. And so this is looking really nice for the Germans now. Moving in on the infantry too, so he's going to have to keep an eye on his infantry during this fight because he wants to be microing his tanks, but as soon as that AT gun goes down, he'll have a lot of breathing room, and it looks like he can just tank these Panzer Grenadiers forever. Nice grenade going in, kills 3 people. Great grenade, and yeah, that's the end of the AT gun. I don't know what that command tank was shooting at the last man running from the AT gun. Panzer Grenadiers do have to pull out, but it looks like the Soviet infantry are going to have to pull out. This tank hasn't done jack shit the entire time. But at this point, I'm really having trouble seeing the Soviet player coming back from this. If he loses this squad, that's going to be really... No, okay, he's fine. Who's suffering cold? These guys are suffering cold, and the Pioneers were suffering cold, but now they're back. So we're going up to tier 3, let's call it 3 for the Germans, I guess, to grab a Panther or something. I don't know what they want from Tier 3. What do you want from Tier 3, Germans? We'll see. I'm excited to see what the German gets from Tier 3. So yeah, I don't see how Soviets come back. Really, I haven't seen how Soviets come back from this since like 2 minutes into the game when the engineer squad got killed. But he's been trying the entire time. He's a good enough player to do it if he can. Still a lot of infantry, so really infantry heavy strat from Soviets. Just guards rifle, conscripts, keep him alive, try and win. Doesn't have any engineers, doesn't need them because he doesn't have anything to repair. He's unlocked the IC-152. He's got the fuel for it, 330 fuel being floated. I don't know, you see this and you're like, why not maybe a clown car? I don't know. He doesn't need a clown car because the German player is not relying at all on weapon teams or anything that's easily flankable. The nice thing actually about the clown car would be you could put a sniper in it, and then sniper plus clown car would be your sort of anti-panzer grenadier squad, and it would also be an anti-grenadier squad. But of course at that point it starts getting sort of expensive, and if your goal is to use up some of that fuel that the Soviet player has in the bank, then obviously buying a sniper is not really going to help. The clown car doesn't even take up a lot of fuel on its own. So we have a heavy Panzer Corps complete, so the German player is now able to buy Panthers over to the FaHu. Really doesn't have the fuel for it. You got to commend the Soviet player for having good hold on the map. Both players are doing a really good job capping and decapping from each other the entire time. That's pretty much what you expect from pro players. Here's a grenade. And you know what I would like? If the XP showed up in one color over the dead people, and like another color over the killing people, then that would be the best of both worlds. This thing is like really well camouflaged. I almost couldn't see it. It fits in. Like, can you see that Panzer IV? Look, maybe if I make it like harder to see, you can't see it. Well, there's the unit icon, but if there weren't a unit icon, can I turn those off? Show taskbar. Nope, those are there forever. But yeah, actual legit camo, which is not a good thing. This is a real-time strategy game, and like things should not be hidden from the. Okay, I've gone on this rant before. How are we doing? 22 minutes in the game, pretty even VP count. I just don't know how the Soviet player is still in the game. The 3 Panzer IVs are just not doing anything. I think the German player has been too tentative this game. Didn't dump the fuel into a second vehicle after the first Panzer IV until a little while. Could have gotten a second tank out sooner, maybe an Austrian or a Panzer IV. Hasn't been pushing the advantage with these Panzer IVs, is really just giving the Soviet player too much time to hang on. And granted, that's not entirely the German player's fault, right? The Soviet player is doing a really good job of spreading out on the map and capping stuff and keeping the German player sort of on the back foot. But honestly, the German player has a second fuel cache. This fuel cache was built long ago. This fuel cache was just established, and I think the German player needs to go for the killing blow. The consensus seems to be that if Soviets don't win early, they lose. I'm not sure that's actually the consensus, but I've heard people say, look, if Soviets don't win early, they're going to lose the game. I don't think this means just sit back as Germans and try and prolong the game as much as you can. When you've got, like, look, total armor supremacy, 3 Panzer IVs on the field, one of which is, of course, a stubby shield Panzer IV, but it's still a Panzer IV. When you've got the 3 on the field, I really think you need to make use of your Panzer IVs, because honestly, what is your opponent going to bring out that can fight your Panzer IVs? If we swap over to HQmul, what does he have? He's got 2 AT guns, and, okay, properly used, yes, 2 AT guns will potentially fight off 3 Panzer IVs, especially if you get them into a choke point, get some good hits on one and blow it up, and then it's down to 2 on 2, and it's hard for your opponent to deal with that. But like, first, it's not like he had 2 AT guns the entire time. He had the first AT gun just for a while, and that thing got itself killed by the Panzer IV, so then you have to... Did he recapture it? I think so. So he recaptured that AT gun, which is really nice. German player should have blown that up, by the way. That's a nice lesson there. Nice grenade. Kills the man. And, yeah, so the lesson, boom, 2 kills from the rifle grenade, not bad. And these grenadiers, by the way, still have a flamethrower. Uh-oh, gonna get hit by a Molotov. And then run forward. That's a good choice, running forward into here, because these conscripts are liable to get burst another couple times, and they've got Vet 2, now Vet 3, so they can definitely stand up. I would have liked to see him stick around even more, although that lucky crit just now took one out. And he did have to pull these Panzer Grens back. They're too low health, so I guess I can understand doing that retreat. But look, I really think German player needs to have pushed his advantage. He's just giving the Soviet player a chance to come back, chance to claw his way back onto the map, get some position. He can cloak his AT guns, by the way, which is very helpful. This is the anti-tank gun ambush tactics you get from this tree, and it's not bad. But yeah, once you're in a position like the German player was, and you're just like trouncing the Soviets, you've completely out-teched them. I think use your tech, man. Just go in and squish some people. Where's the grenade? It's a Molotov, and that's a non-Molotov. Man, just really brutal infantry combat this entire game. Let's look at the munitions. Whoop, just kidding. German player has a ton of munitions, so can probably afford to pop grenades in basically every fight. Gonna win this fight, thanks in part to the grenades that he pops. So German player, he's just got all the stuff. He's building a Panther now. Whew. So when this Panther comes out, it's going to be unconscionable if the German player doesn't just run in and kill. What's funny is that the Soviets got all 3 VPs right now, so the German player is just not able to cap as much. Down to 1 Grenadier squad. So if we can say anything about how the Soviet player has stayed in the game, aside from noting the lack of German aggression, it's the unit preservation. Look at the veterancy on these Soviet squads, and look how many Soviet squads there are. There's just got to immediately retreat from these guys. But if you look at that, you can see the Soviet player is really not losing too many squads. German, meanwhile, a couple Panzergren squads and a Grenadier squad with good vet, but that's basically everything. And these guys are gonna... Oh, those are down. These guards' rifle aren't fucking around. Whew. So, I don't know. Soviet players just hard fighting, scrabbling, trying to hold the VPs, trying to inch up even. This is some nice aggression. I like to see this from the Soviet player. German has no idea it's coming, and Soviet player, if he can see far enough into the fog of war, which he can't, could use the AT gun to push up and kill. Instead, he's just camouflaging, which is fine. That was a nice grenade going in. He's gonna lose his Vet 2 guard squad if he's not lucky. That was nearly really bad. Also, this AT gun has to worry about being revealed. Oh, it's bombarding. That's a weird choice when you know there's Panzergrens there. Can he even see what he's shooting at? Yeah, he can. He's got the watchtower, but I don't know. I agree with that. And like I said, he can pop grenades, the German player, in basically any fight he wants. Here comes the Panther. It's the AT-gun's like, run away. Oh, just kidding. Well, look, please. He's doing the slidey retreat thing, but then he stopped. Noun wanted one of these. Okay, that just looks weird. Noun wanted a okay, whatever. You don't even know who Noun is. Who cares if you wanted a replay for a thing? Somebody died. Maybe the AT gun. Looks like he lost a squad of guards rifle somewhere. I'm just watching this Panther though. It's yeah. Here's finally the German player coming. If this game doesn't end right now, I don't know what's going on. Drive in with all your tanks and kill everything. The AT gun, meanwhile, oh, here's the squad that was lost. The guard's rifle up there, and the AT gun got killed. Recrewing this AT gun, that could actually be pretty good if the German isn't able to flank it. Gets a hit on the Panzer IV, out of control. It's got a sad little droopy gun on the front. It's just driving around. This thing is finally decrewed, so that's really annoying for the Soviet player. Trying to recruit again, but he's like super fucked. That was almost a lost conscript squad if they had managed to recruit it. So it's sort of a good thing that didn't happen. Yikes. So we lost a Panzer IV up here, I think. One of the Panzer... No. Okay, no, we didn't lose a Panzer IV up here. Sorry, just this Panzer IV is dead here. But at this point, what is the German... Like, it's got to be immensely clear the German player that the Soviet player clearly has, like, nothing. You just rolled over those 2 AT guns. If the Soviet player had anything on the map that could fight your tanks, they would have been used to defend the AT gun. Like, honestly... Why? This is not like the Soviet player is holding back anything. So, German player, I guess, has got the memo. He's moving up, trying to kill some stuff. Where are these engineers, these pioneers? They need to come in and just repair these things. He's capping the VPs, which I guess makes sense. He's down to 94. Almost killing a Vet 3 conscript squad. Are they going to get out? They have some really nice defensive bonuses. They're at Vet 2, and maybe at Vet 3. We'll click on the conscripts in a sec, see what Vet 3 gets them. Durability, yep, so Vet 3 will give you really strong conscripts. And here we finally go. It's finally... Go! Yeah, well, okay, now there's an ISU. So finally the German player gets off his fat ass, drives into the Soviet base to exert German armor supremacy, but 2 of his tanks have damaged engines. One of them's fucking dead in the middle of the map. And now he's buttoned, and there's an ISU 152. Like... This is a 29-minute, 20-second match. The entire time the Soviet has had shit all for AT, except for some AT guns, which the German basically could have rolled whenever he wanted, and would have had an easier time of it too had he been more aggressive before the 2 AT guns showed up. Then finally, when the German finds his balls and rolls in to fight. There's an ISU 152 at the very edge of the map where it can't even be circle strafed, even if you had the engine to do it, but you didn't because you didn't spend the 2 seconds to repair your Panther with your Pioneers up here in the middle before you decided to move in. And meanwhile, the Pioneers getting themselves destroyed by guards. Just kidding, they're destroying the guards. So might actually even kill the ISU 152. He's just got enough tanks firing. Yeah, he's gonna take it out. So probably this is gonna be the death blow for the Soviets, right? Like the 3rd or 4th fucking death blow for the Soviets. I don't see how he comes back from that. He's got AT rifles, which can maybe kill these 2 Panzer IVs, or this 1 Panzer IV, but I don't see him, and the Panther, but I don't see him killing anything else. All these, no, this doesn't have a damaged engine. What you really need to do now is use this undamaged engine Panzer IV to try and crush these guards' rifle. The reason you do that is not because you'll actually crush them. You totally could, but that would just be bonus. What you need is to get them to stop firing their AT rifles at your Panzer IV because they're going to kill it. And to stop them from firing the AT rifles, oh, it's dead. To stop them from firing the AT rifles, you just drive at them. And then they have to move, and when they're moving, they can't shoot. When they can't shoot, it lets this Panzer IV fire at them. That would be what you need. This doesn't have a damaged engine. You need to use it for that. It's not like it's getting out of here anyways. Man, some missteps from the German player, but I think he's finally going to clinch this thing. That was a really hard-fought match from the Soviets, but I just really have to question those technical choices. I mean, obviously HQmul is a CondemnationWings is 1,000 times better than I'm ever going to be. Like I said, 26th best Soviet player, 21st best German player. But that's maybe trying out a new infantry heavy strat with this new patch. He says, look, they changed it so that infantry are more viable in the late game. I'm just going to go super infantry. Maybe used to just getting more work out of his guards rifle and conscripts than he did. Losing that engineer squad really early on in here, like, legitimately hurt him really badly. That stuff just echoes down throughout the game quite a bit. And he's chasing these tanks out of his base and actually doing not too badly at it. This has 7 infantry kills. This has 30 infantry kills and a building kill and 2 tank kills. So looks like the German player's gonna get out of here with his tanks, which is nice. Needs to repair. Man, look at the Soviet player down to 3 infantry squads, 2 conscripts, and a guard's rifle. So he's gotta be fucked. He's gotta be. There's no way he comes back from that. This German player, meanwhile, actually pretty low too. 2 Panzergrens at Gradier. This is just a brutal match. Both players beating each other into a pulp. And just interesting teching choices, I think, from the Soviet and German player. Just 2020 hindsight, just being more aggressive and maybe don't build Panthers. When you've got this much fuel and this fuel advantage for so long, what you want is the Panzer IVs and the Austrians just pump those out, destroy the Soviet infantry, flank the Soviet AT guns, destroy them with Austrians with no target tables in the game. The Austrian is just a beast against enemy AT guns, and you can just circle straight from all day and blow them up in like 3 shots. And had the German player pushed this earlier, this would have been completely over. Meanwhile, Soviet player still holding out hope for a VP win. It looks like. I don't see how that's going to happen. It's a noble fight, but ultimately doomed. German player finally managed to spend most of the fuel, only down to 110 floating, which is still quite a bit. Note that you can, for the 110 fuel in the bank, you can wait till it's 115 and then just build the Austrian or the Panzer IV, whatever you want. They cost the same. I would like to see an Austrian at some point, but I can understand being worried about heavier Soviet armor and just getting a Panzer IV, but you should totally toss a bundle grenade with these guys. Do it. It's a Model 24. It's a baled load of 7 Model 24 grenades, so they're called a baled grenade now. They were bundle grenades in the original Company Heroes. Now they're baled grenades. So that's trivia for you. Ha, you learned shit. 3rd fuel cache completed by the Germans. Oh, that was... Was that... Did the ISU-152 shoot all the... Yes, that was the ISU-152 shooting from here to here and getting 2 kills. Okay? Just try and comprehend that in your tiny reptilian brain. You can't, okay? You can't. It's impossible to comprehend. It's beyond human comprehension. You literally cannot understand what just happened. I know I can't. I'm still trying to process that shit. So, I don't know where the Soviet players fucking fuel all out the ass, but now he's got his 2nd ISU-152. German player doesn't need to worry about this at all. Has a Panzer IV and a Panther, which is being repaired, although it doesn't have a repair. There's no repair icon when these guys do the repairing. That's kind of weird. But in any case, he's got another Panther. No, that's not the other Panther. Where's the other Panther? There's the other Panther. German player doesn't have to worry about this ISU at all. He does have to worry about VPs. They're both ticking down. This is actually coming down to the wire. again, this, I don't know how the Soviets just been in this for so long. And German, I guess he did use his fuel on the call-in for the command tank, which is, why would you do that? It's instant, I guess. That's the only thing. It's the only reason you'd call in a command tank, I think, at this point, because it's instant. Otherwise, an Austrian or a Panther 4 would be so much better. Crushing from the Panther, I'd like to see that. And I think he just got hit by an AT grenade from these guys, which is why they were sticking around so long. ISU is shooting like all the way fucking up there. That's ridiculous, even in a blizzard. Here comes, he's got AT grenade from these two things, so certainly the changes to AT grenades where they have a chance not to penetrate is not happening here. The IC-152 does do crew shock damage when it hits a tank. This means this tank is stunned for a while, and now it can start moving again, but as long as this comes in and the other Panther starts coming in, I think the German player, no, man, the ISU has enough space to just back out forever. The question is it going to do enough damage to this Panther? Oh, yes it is. Yes, it most certainly is. German player just really hasn't been able to bring to bear the force that he's had available this entire match. This is the Panther dead. He needs to use his tanks in big hunting groups and sort of blitzkrieg fashion and overwhelm the opponent. That's what it takes to get rid of those AT guns when you move in more than one tank at a time. It's just like trivially easy to circle strafe them, and the AT gun also dies that much faster, which means your tanks are fairly immune to damage because they don't take as much because the AT gun is just dead. And he needs to use his tanks en masse to sort of surround these ISU-152s and overwhelm them and just get behind them. If you go in piecemeal like this, you see that the ISU-152 is able to take out one Panther, and needs to use his tanks en masse just to roll over the enemy infantry, which he wasn't doing. Here we see the command tank doing fairly good damage against the ISU-152, so that's pretty impressive. But again, getting AT grenaded, so I don't think we've seen a failed AT grenade yet this game. When the AT grenade fails, by the way, and fails to penetrate, it does not do engine damage, but it still does normal damage. So that's the change. The Panzerfaust and the AT grenades will now sometimes not damage the engine when they hit, especially for heavier tanks. He's not moving in with his Panther, or with his other Panzer IV, which is it's just letting this ISU-152 get away. It looks like he's just going to focus and hold the VPs. He's going to bleed the opponent out. Maybe a good choice. We'll see how that works. This game is coming down to the wire. This is going to be the deciding battle here, if it's even a battle. It might just be spread out skirmishes. ISU is probably too hurt to move in, but the problem is it can still pick away from far away. We see it almost kill this Panzer IV command tank from like 2 screens away. That would be funny if it fired again and killed it. It's not going to happen, is it? I can't see shit. Man, that almost, Jesus Christ, that almost hit. Oh my god. Oh, the ranges in this game. I can't take it. But, okay, German player, whew, finally has this in the bag, I think. Okay, and Soviet player quits, I guess. Man, what a match. Just, 43 to 39 VPs. German player gave up, like, every chance to win, then finally pulled it out. So the lesson here is just roll over your opponent if you've really out-tech them like this. And the lesson here for the Soviets is maybe don't go 100% infantry unless you're not going to lose your engineer here really early on. I think he totally could have gone for a clown car at some point, loaded some people up, maybe gotten some kills on the retreat. What you want to do is chase those German squads down as they're getting out. Maybe could have gone for some snipers. That would have been really nice versus these Panzer Grenadiers. Maybe could have gone for Tier 3 or Tier 4. Maybe an Su-85 wouldn't have been bad. Maybe the new cheaper T-34s would have really got him some infantry supremacy and would have come out soon enough to start shutting down those Panzer IVs as they showed up, which would have been an even bigger problem had the German properly utilized them. I hope you enjoyed this match of Company Heroes 2. 2 tremendous players, 2 of the best in the entire game, and it's a blizzard, so I can't see anything. I will see you around.